imagine Pritchard in League One playing in the middle of the park. He's very vocal. He talks a lot in the dressing room.
Yeah.
He drives the ball forward. He likes to get up the park. And I think he could be one of the older heads that could lead a younger team.
Going on, guys, we are back with another podcast, and joining me again is Steve Trainer, who runs the Bcfc, the project Facebook page. How you doing, Steve?
I'm all right, thanks, Jay. You, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right, thank you, mate. You're looking very tan, mate.
Oh, listen, it's so hot here at the moment. It's unbelievable. So, I've had a busy morning and the heat just destroys you in a few minutes, So I'm here now with Reg. Reg's having a little rest over there. I'm indoors. I got the shutters down more or less.
Yeah.
So cool down a little bit.
How's work and stuff, Steve? All right and that?
Yeah, all busy, yeah. Doing fine. Still going as long as I can in the fitness industry, but you just do what you can, eh? And you're all right?
Yeah. All good, thank you, mate. I've got a couple of days off work, so it would be nice to speak to you, mate, and have a catch up, really, and just see what you think of what's going on lately with Blues and stuff.
Yeah, no problem.
But since we last spoke, obviously we was managerless. Tony Mowbray stepped down, didn't he? And now, obviously, there was like speculations with like different managers and stuff who would be appointed, and then obviously, to my knowledge and my view and my opinion, Chris Davies, to me, like, he come out of nowhere. I know you mentioned a couple of days before that you had an inkling that he may have been appointed, but what are your views on it, Steve?
I think there's a lot of names thrown about, and to be honest with you, one or two of them, I thought, he's got every chance. I think Lampard might have been someone that could have done something for us, but I didn't really want, a big name. And then we had the guy that used to be at Sunderland, his name escapes me now.
Alex Neil.
Alex Neil, yeah. I think he would have been all right. He's got promotions from the division before. But looking at the people that are available, it wasn't really very exciting, Everyone that was mentioned, you're not 100% happy with.
Yeah.
But I had a little inkling about Chris Davies and heard a few people saying stuff. But to be honest with you, Blues have kept this so close to the chest. They've done an absolutely brilliant job in keeping it quiet. And congratulations to them for that, because I've done it really, really well. I don't know where all the negotiations were taking place, but of course it's dead easy to do negotiations on Zoom and that now, isn't it? As we can see now, you don't know, and people say no, so and so's on holiday. Listen, it's a 4-year contract. The guy's going to give an hour of his holiday up to go and sit on a Zoom call. It's not beyond the realms of possibility. But I think he's a good signing. He's got a lot of experience. He's worked with some top teams, Liverpool, Celtic, Leicester City. He's been around and about. He has a lot of contacts. And of course, today he signed his number 2 today, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Ben Petty. So Ben's got a pretty good pedigree. I know a couple of his friends, and he's from Solihull, which is where I'm from. And he played junior for Villa.
Yeah.
So a few people, when he was mentioned a couple of weeks ago, were saying, like seeing him with a Villa shirt on. Well, that's because he played for Villa Youth, That's what they tend to make you wear when you play for Villa Youth, is a Villa shirt. But, don't anybody think that makes any difference, right? Just remember Robert Hopkins, remember Howard Gale, remember Noel Blake, right? All Villa players, okay? So you can get that out of your head. They play for a career. They don't play because they're not going to turn down a career at Aston Villa because they're a Blues fan. That's understandable. I know we all say we would, but we wouldn't.
Yeah. It's all banter, isn't it, mate? I mean, it's like this thing behind me, like this Peter Income thing, it's just banter, like, you got to have a bit of a laugh. But, but the way I look at it is, it doesn't matter if they've played for Villa or the part of Villa, if they can bring something to the table and help the team progress and go in line with Wagner's vision, then I'm all for it.
I like these two because they're experienced managers. Well, see, Ben Petty's come from Leicester City now. He was due to arrive 2 weeks ago, but the thing was they were speaking to Graham Potter about possibly getting Potter in, and from what I can understand, Potter was interested in trying to keep him at the club. So the club didn't release him, but I think the Potter thing has all gone cold now because no one can afford to pay Graham Potter what he wants.
Yeah.
And so I think, but I was talking to, like I said, I know a few friends of his. I was talking to a friend of his when the whole thing about Potter came up, and he said, it's just stalling it. It's definitely coming anyway. It's just stalled. It's just stalled the deal a little bit, so that's all right. And he's a good lad. He's worked with the youth at Leicester City. When you think about it as well, in League One, it's very, very good if you can get some Premier League loans.
Yeah.
And we've got contacts there with Leicester City and Spurs. And Postagoglu, his name
I know. I struggled with it as well.
he speaks really highly of Chris Davies. And if you're loaning out your youth players, are you going to loan them to a club that just promises you to do things, or are you going to loan them to someone that you've worked with and you understand what he's like with youth, and you know how good he is? That's what he's going to go for, isn't it? Always. And I know people saying we don't want loans, but loans are important in League One. Because we can get some really good young talent. Look what Jude was like when he's 17 and 18. He'd have torn League One, a new one, wouldn't he? So we got the likes of Man City that we have contacts with, Spurs, Leicester. So if we can get a few good young loans in, I think it'll be really good. With our own lads as well. We've got the promise of Donovan, and we've got the likes of Hall, and I've got a feeling JJ may be off. I might be a million miles wrong with that. But Atalanta's still sniffing around him. Junior Dixon, who, he's got a great goal scoring record. I've heard that he's had a few problems in terms of his attitude and the way he acts. Right. But who knows? Chris Davies might knock that out of him with any luck. Davies will also still have Ashley Cole there, and I think Ashley Cole's been really, really great since Rooney went. I mean, that's up to the bloke. He's on the touchline, he's helping, he's coaching. I've got a lot of respect for Ashley Cole now. He's never my greatest. I was never his greatest fan, but as a player, he was brilliant, and I think now he's really proving himself to us.
Yeah, definitely. What was your views on Chris Davies' interview and stuff?
Yeah, good.
Did it come across to you? Was you impressed with what he was saying and stuff?
Yeah, I think he's positive. He said what he thinks, and what I like about him, he's very, very confident in himself. When he was saying, people are saying I'm not an experienced manager. Well, no, he isn't. But he said, I rate myself as a manager because everything I do at the clubs is just what a manager does. So I like that. I think he fits the club well because he's young. He's not going to be much older than some of the players in that squad. If you look at John Ruddy, who's 37, and the Duke, so he's got a much closer knit understanding of perhaps a younger group of people than probably. And I'm not saying this because I love Tony Mowbray, but Tony Mowbray's in his 60s. There's a big sort of there's a big age gap there and a generation gap. So that's not a bad thing. Really, really sorry that we haven't got Tony Mowbray because it's awful what happened. And I was speaking to Jeremy Dale, and this is talking about the project group now. And he said, and I don't know if you remember, Jay, but we sent him in a whole list of comments from the
I commented on it.
To give to Tony Mowbray, and Jeremy Dale said to me, listen, that thing that we sent about Tony Mowbray asking us to, I think Jeremy Dale put a post on the group, I think, thanking the fans. Well, he said, he said to me, Steve, that actually, honestly, like that's happened. I spoke to him and he was so touched by it. And he said, please, can you just thank them for us? So, that's what sort of a bloke Tony Mowbray is, and we've missed out on that.
Yeah.
But I just think with Chris Davies, we've got this opportunity now. And don't get overexcited about it because we don't know what he's going to be like as a manager. No one does.
Yeah.
He could, hopefully he's going to hit the ground running. He's going to play with a nice progressive style of football. What I like about his football is he likes to play the one touch quick thinking, play out from the back football. What I did like about his interview was he said, but we're not scared to go long.
Yeah.
If we have to go long in certain positions, then that's what we do. And I like that, the fact, not like Wayne Rooney went, and Wayne Rooney, I think, was a really good tactician. I just don't think he had the players to do what he wanted. But I think Wayne Rooney was absolutely stuck on every time you come out of defence, you play
that way.
You play through them. Whereas what Davies said was, if we have to hit the ball long, it doesn't matter. So that's good. Well, you've seen a sort of example of it last night. I was surprised actually, how many times Pickford was hitting the ball long. You can see what happens when the ball's hit long. You give, it's probably a 70-30% chance that the defender's going to win it because he's coming onto the ball. Yeah. So you always risk giving away position with the goalkeeper doing long clearances or defenders around the box.
Yeah.
But it's better than giving it away on the edge of your own box, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I mean, I was speaking to my dad about it, Steve. And he's really excited about it, and he thinks that Chris Davies, out of the names that were circulating around, is probably the best appointment. That
I do as well. I agree with your dad. I think he's a great appointment, and I like the fact that it's like this thing that I feel now. It's like the real reset now.
Yeah.
Last year we were all excited about it happening, but there were some fuck ups here and there, weren't there? And John Eustace was replaced when we were really, I wouldn't say we were having a great run. We'd had 2 wins, but it's not the best time to replace someone because it's going to piss people off.
Yeah.
I think they made that mistake, which I think they understand now. There were lots of problems there was lots of problems last season. It was a bit of a time for teething and breaking in, and them understanding us and us understanding them. And I honestly don't think at the end of the day, it isn't the end of the world getting relegated. I would rather we had stayed up because we would be, 1 step away from the Premier League. Yeah. And that would have been an absolutely thrilling season to look forward to, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But the opposition would have been a lot harder. So I think this way of, if we can, it's what Chris Davies said was he wants to build a championship ready team. So basically what he wants to do now is put a team in this season that we might have put in to get promoted to the Premier League. So It's a good thing. It's a bit like what Ipswich did, they came into the championship and they hit the ground running and up they went. So it's not impossible that a year from now we could be talking about the prospects of playing in the Premier League.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, that's what I was thinking. We got like a similar situation to Ipswich. Obviously, they got relegated, didn't they? They've got American owners as well. So I mean, we're kind of going along with their way of.
Well, they got a good young manager. I think the first season, I don't think he did that well. I think the second season he got them promoted, if I remember rightly. But of course, we're much better than Ipswich. It's like, listen, I heard someone talking the other day actually about like Ipswich Town a bigger club than Birmingham City. Well, of course it isn't. It was on the radio and a couple of people said, "Well, it is because they've finished I think they finished second in the Premier League. Well, the old Division 1 one, so I think they finished second to Villa actually, and blah blah blah. But of course, we're a bigger club than Ipswich. Christ Almighty, we're in the second biggest city in the country. They're stuck in Suffolk.
Yeah,
I think it's Suffolk. Yeah. But anyway,
yeah, it's.
I'm excited for the new season. The club's come a long way. When I look at St Andrews now, I look at that ground and I feel proud of it. Yeah, when I looked at it 2 years ago, I looked at it and you'd be embarrassed to have away fans turning up at that ground. It was a shithole, What they've done to it is beyond anyone's dreams.
Yeah.
The pitch, the way they've got the ground looking, it's professional, the changing rooms, behind the scenes. These new corporate things that are putting in the city view, which is in the Gilmerry Upper. It has views across the city from the back. The corporate thing. They've got the box to box, which is the massive bar that's going to be built in the Kop, which runs the length basically from one box to the other box.
Brilliant.
It's penalty areas. So it's one of the biggest bars in Europe. The corporate has cost us a few, not me, but it's cost a few fans their seats in club class and a
Do
few.
you think of that, Steve?
You can't fight progress, unfortunately. I remember when the ground went all seater, I was gutted because I couldn't stand where I used to stand on the Kop. So I lost my place, but it's just progress. And unfortunately, I think there's like, I don't know, can't remember now. There might be 300 people, 400 people that have lost their seats and had to relocate. I do feel sorry for them, but it's just a part of progress, and you're just one of the unlucky ones. The Gilmere Cup has had a few casualties as well, because of putting in the new bar up there. And I think I know that I think it's AEG AEG. I don't want
AMG
to get
Logistics.
AEG Logistics have bought 1,000 season tickets for underprivileged kids and carers, and I've got a feeling those season tickets are going to be located in the Gilmere Copper. So with something like that, people are going to lose seats, but it's just the way it is. I think it's a great move by the club doing that.
Yeah.
Obviously, something we do, as you already know, we do tickets for kids every home game.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
But we send about, like, I don't know, 20 people. We don't send 1,000. So what they're doing is absolutely brilliant. And while we're here, of course, if anyone knows anyone that has underprivileged children, or not always the way to say it, but kids that can't get to football matches because of financial issues, just drop me a line at Bcfc the project at outlook.com, and I'll be happy to have a look and see if we can get your tickets for next season, because we're continuing it. And if anyone out there has got any used kit that their kids have grown out of, if you've just bought a load of new kit for your kids, if you've got second-hand kit out there, please come onto the project page, and you'll find where you can drop it off. And we're going to use that for kids to go to games, because it's all right saying us, we give tickets to kids to go to games.
Yeah.
But then we thought, well, when they get that, if they haven't got an awful lot of money, then it's expensive to eat there, isn't it, as well? So we give everyone a tenner as well. Everyone that goes, give them £10 to spend in the ground. And then I thought, well, they ain't going to have kits, are there, like a lot of the other kids will have in the family stand? So if all right, well, let's see if people have got any spare kit. And that's been a great success. So what we're trying to do is get young people back into blues. It's important, and what a great time to be a young blues fan. So exciting,
Yeah, see, Stephen, I'm really proud as well. I mean, mate, fair play to you for doing that. Like, I'm really proud, mate. And it's a good thing to do as well.
Thanks for that. But the people that help the kids really are our members.
Yeah.
They're the ones that pay for the tickets. They're the ones that supply the kits.
Yeah.
All we do is bring it all together. And to be fair, Rachel's done a great job on collection of kits. Beck does all the ticket, all of the ticket purchasing and sending out. So it's a big job in itself. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. You got to match the people. Then she has to send the £10 to each person in the bank account. Then we've got Alan, who's our treasurer. He has to arrange the money to send to Beck to pay for the tickets. So it's quite a complicated thing, but I'm so glad that we do it. It's something I'm really proud of for the group. 13,000 people this is. And I love everyone that helps us do these things, because it's all right saying that we're a great group and we do these things. It's the people that are in the group that do them. We don't do them. We just initiate them.
Yeah. 13,000, Steve. I mean, that's amazing, mate. Brilliant. But
it is, because we're not a year old yet,
Brilliant, mate.
I mean, our birthday is on the 13th of July, and the same day as the Blues, because that's when that's why we called the group the project. We wanted to launch it on the same day that Blues took over, and this year on the 13th of July we're opening our brand new website.
Nice.
And there'll be details of that in the group. This is so that people can find things easily, because you often get them coming on Facebook. How do we send money for kids, or what's this about the kids? So listen, if you go onto the website, there's a little tab that will say to you, like kits for kids, kids matches for kids, you know, all the things that we do are all tabbed. You've only got to touch it, gives you all the information. It makes life much easier for us.
Yeah, brilliant. That is, Steve. You'll have to send me the link to that, mate. Can you
Yeah,
send
we're
it
not
in there
launching
as well?
till 13th of July we launched it, and one of our moderators, Sean Baldock, has done loads of good work on that. You know, Sean, he hasn't charged us for anything. It's absolutely brilliant, and you know, it's going to be good. It'll be a nice thing for us to have, and it'll make life a lot easier for everyone.
Superb. And can you send stuff in there, Steve? Like, say, like, you know, like if some of my kids' tops didn't fit them, could I send them in?
Well, we are. If you
Or...
look on, well, we're going to have all the drop-off points. So if you look at it's on the Facebook group now. If you want the drop-off points, you only have to ask. There's about 8 or 9 of them. So wherever you live in Brum, you're going to have somewhere to drop them.
Oh,
But you
great.
can also, of course, post them if you want.
Yeah. Okay, then superb. Then that's brilliant. I've got a question for you as well, Steve, because my dad was talking about this the other day about this longest bar, and we wasn't sure if it's going to be like a members thing or is it just open to the general fan population at the stadium.
Yeah, I think
Have
it's
any idea?
corporate. Yeah, I think it's corporate, and it might have something to do with. And I'm not 100% sure on this, so I'm guessing, but it might have something to do with the club class seats that have been removed from
Right.
the back of club class. So that, if I give you an idea, right, the club class, can't remember how much. I think it was like 400 quidish. For I speak to someone who lost one of the seats,
Yeah.
but they gave them the option to buy one of the seat that's going to be in that position in the new corporate area, and the price of that seat discounted by 10% was 3,700.
Right.
So it's jumped from £400 to 3,700. So you know, there's going to be a package involved with it.
Yeah.
Probably free use of the bar, possibly food. I'm just guessing now because I honestly haven't got that much information on it. Getting stuff out of the Blues at the moment is like getting someone out of Fort Knox, but that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Um, it is, and I think, you know, for fair play to everyone at the Blues, really. And I think the people that are overlooked there, and I've said it before. I mean, I have my ups and downs with the club, but to be fair, they're fair with us, and we're fair with them.
Yeah.
But people like, people I deal mainly with are like Jeremy Dale, Jake Melbassa, people like this. They have an awful lot to do. They cock things up like all of us do.
Yeah.
But, you know, you can't forget people like Jeremy Dale. He was instrumental in the whole thing. He put the nuts and bolts of this whole deal together.
Yeah. All the way.
You know, that's a massive thing to do. And then look at Saturday and look over the weekend with all the staff working in the shop, working on the ticket office,
Yeah.
the nightmare, Thursday,
Record sales.
Friday. Yeah, you know, it was absolutely mad. And then, of course, Gary Cook apparently turned up and was helping. I don't know how much he was helping, but he was in there, put it that way. I don't think he was ringing up anything on the till. But he was in there. So he showed his face. And I think, all in all, considering we sold 4,000 tickets on Friday, and if you bear in mind the shirts went on sale on the same day, they did absolutely brilliant. And people saying, well, it's a bit stupid, wasn't it, doing it at the same time? It wasn't. I think it was like planned pandemonium because these are American marketers, you know, and I think the plan was get you at the store because the kit was only available in the store from Thursday. I think it was Thursday, or was it Friday? It was on sale. Yeah, Thursday until Monday. So today it became available online, but the only place you could get it until today was in the store.
Yeah.
Now, the season tickets happen to be released on the same day, and you can go into the season ticket office there, the one they've got there, the temporary one, and get your season ticket. So you've only got to put 2 and 2 together. If you're going to buy a season ticket while you're there, you're probably going to buy a kit.
Yeah.
But more importantly, if you're caught up in the whole euphoria of it, you're going to buy your kit and you come out and you might buy a season ticket.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? Really, I mean, it's quite clever, isn't it? It's like you say, Steve. You know, the business people in there, they know
Yeah, it's clever marketing,
Yeah.
and people saying to me, you know, several people have messaged me and said, you know, what are the club playing at? Bloody hell, they're stupid. You know, like they could have done that better. They got they got the dates on the same release on the same day. I'm thinking, yeah, you know, use your head. They're not stupid.
Oh dear. So what's the general vibe like? Because obviously, you know, you run like this amazing group, Steve. The project, you know, I absolutely love it. It's by far, in my opinion, the best blues group, and my dad says the same as well. What's the general vibe with like blues this season?
Excitement.
Like Chris Davies and now the kit as well. I mean, we spoke about the kit. What's your views on the kit as well, Steve?
Well, I like the kit.
Yeah,
At the
me
end of
too.
the day, the kit is the kit. It doesn't really what matter what you're playing. If you happen to like it, then fair enough. You know, I mean, we remember how last season's kit was leaked, and you know, you got another dick this season who leaked the kit. We managed to get it off our site pretty smartish. Um, uh, it's a kit that goes back to the 80s. It was the old Co-op milk one.
Yeah,
Except it's a much nicer version. It's the new Nike kit. It's quite, you know, I think it's nice. I would rather have had blue shorts if I'm honest.
yeah,
But I always think of blues in blue shorts because that's the way that's what they wore when I first watched them. So I think it's a nice kit. It's Nike. You know, it is what it is, and they kept that pretty much under wraps right until the end. You know, and that person, by the way, you know, so I believe has been removed from the club, rightfully so. But you know, to take a photo of a cardboard box full of kit, you know, I mean, are they stupid? I mean, why would you even want to do it? I mean, the kit, the last season when they did the kit release video, it was completely balls gone by someone leaking the kit.
yeah,
You know, and that's what, that unfortunately you can't trust everyone that works for you. And when it's something like Birmingham City, you got a lot of people working, and you're going to get people that work in the shop seeing the kit before it's announced. So someone obviously couldn't resist the opportunity to put it on X, what it's now called
yeah. I
Twitter.
saw it as well. It was one of them because obviously you know what social media is like with rumors and stuff on that. And I thought like, is it like an AI like generated photo? And I said to my dad, I said, have you seen the photo? And he was like, yeah, yeah. Look, we wasn't sure if that was actually the kit or like if it was going to be like quite similar to it. But from what I saw, I
Yeah,
just
well, it was
on
in.
it.
There was a photo of it in a box. I don't know if you've seen that one. It was in cellophane wrapper, so it was ready to be put up in the shop, you know, and you just got some dick leaking it for whatever reason. I mean, you know, why would you need to leak a kit? I mean, just leave it. It's quite exciting when it comes out,
Yeah,
but I like it. It could have been a lot worse. I know some people wanted the penguin. I don't want to see the penguin again. We've had it a couple of times, and it's not the same as It's not ever going to be the same like as the first one.
yeah,
The old blue, white, blue, white. It's nice. It's a nice kit.
yeah. I like it as well. I actually prefer it to last season. I do personally.
I
Uh,
think I do as well. It looks cleaner, doesn't it?
yeah, I like the white under the sleeves as well. The thin white stripe that goes under the armpit and then onto
Yeah.
the sleeve. I
There's
like
a lot
that.
of white on the kit,
Yeah,
actually. That's probably why they stayed away from the white socks. The ladies' kit has got blue shorts, in case any ladies are listening, thinking, white shorts. The kit is blue shorts for the ladies. But I don't know if you've seen. Did you watch the World Cup yesterday?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Euro.
Yeah, yeah, World Cup, Euro. Yeah, the England Serbia game.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Think he was a Serbian keeper. No, it wasn't, was it? Had the Nike goalkeeper's kit on, exactly the same one that's in the shop. It might have been an Algerian keeper. So that I don't really like the goalkeeper's kit. I think it looks a bit crap, but it's a bit jazzy, you know, like it's green and it's a bit mad.
Yeah,
But it's a Nike template.
yeah. I like it, man. It's all custom design as well, isn't it? So we're not, you know, like a lot of football teams when they have like. I remember when Blues won the Premiership in uh, Steve Bruce days. You know, we had the Diodora kit, and it's like a generated kit, isn't it? Where like a lot of teams obviously have their own colours and stuff, but you've got like a similar like
Yeah, when you have
style.
the same template. So
Yeah,
you know, you could have a team wearing red and white, having the
yeah,
same kit as us in blue and white. You
yeah.
know, yeah.
That kit is
But
actually a custom kit, isn't it?
yeah, and we got a lot of contacts at Nike, of course,
Yeah,
with Gary Cook and with Tom Brady.
yeah. It's brilliant, mate. Oh,
So I'm quite excited for the season. I think we've got to look at signings now, see who we bring in. That's the next thing. Who's going to stay?
yeah,
I've got a feeling John Ruddy will be off.
yeah, me too.
I think. We know, I think Deion Sanderson's staying because of the apology that he put out on Twitter last week.
Yeah,
That was obviously, to me, he was probably just told, you know, you're going to stay, you've got to apologise to supporters for last season, which he did. And I think that's fair enough, big enough of him, you know. And so I think what happened with him was he was just too much into John Eustace. And I think when John Eustace was removed, I think it had a big impact on him. And I think he probably suffered a bit mentally and affected his game. And then when he starts playing badly, he starts doing stupid things. And when he's seen out in town when he's supposed to be injured, you know, showing himself on Twitter, buying trainers and all this business, the fans get pissed off with him, rightfully so. And I think for him to come out and apologise, let's hope we can give him a clean start, because I think him and Christian Bielik together will be a great centre-half pairing in that division.
yeah,
They'll destroy it.
yeah. I reckon as well. Yeah, Bielik at the back for me. I mean, he played better at the back last season. I thought he's you as well, Steve.
Yeah, he's got a pass in him as well.
Yeah.
So he's a nice player, Chris Bielik. He's a big lad. You know, he's captain material in my opinion, and I think he's good. And I'm 99% sure he's staying as well.
Yeah. There's something I want to ask you as well, Steve, because I done a video a few days ago, and I had a comment because I was like basically saying, you know, it'd be nice for Chris Davies to try and like bring in some of the academy players just to just try them out, you know. And I had a comment basically saying we can't fuck around this season. We need signings, not the youngsters. You know, we need to get promoted. So, what's your views on that, Steve?
I think it's got to be a blend.
Yeah.
We need a few old heads in the squad. The squad last season didn't have a leader. The team didn't have a leader. It just didn't. Sanderson, Deion Sanderson is not a captain. He just isn't. We were short on leaders last season. At one point, when I thought, you know, like Deion Sanderson was captain, are you thinking to yourself, well, who's an alternative? There isn't one. You know, people say Bcfc, he doesn't play enough. John Ruddy, I don't like a goalkeeper as a captain, to be honest. I need to be on the pitch. Then you're looking at, like, who else? Chris Bielik, probably the only other one. So we lacked leadership.
Yeah.
The young lads, Donovan was given a chance with Rooney, but none of the others fancied him. And also, I've already said about Junior Dixon, he's got his own issues, or he has had, and hopefully they've sorted himself out, or Chris Davies can get his head together.
Yeah.
We've got a few others like Mayo and Home who possibly could make the step up. And I'm sure when Chris Davies sees them, if he thinks they're good enough, then they'll feature. They'll be given a squad number and they'll be in the squad. But you've got to temper this, right? And people will be pissed off if I say this, but I think if you look at a 20-year-old or a 19-year-old from Spurs who they want to prepare for the Premier League, and you've got a real raw Blues player who has only played, you know, hasn't even had a championship game and is trying to get into our League One team, I think you have to be sensible and say, listen, you know, we have to give this to this loanee. Our youth can still progress into next season. If we get promoted, they're in a championship team. So I think it's getting the blend right.
Yeah.
I'm sure Chris Davies will be able to sort that because he's used to working with young players.
Yeah.
He'll know. Yeah. And when he sees them, he'll know whether or not, in his opinion, he thinks they're good enough.
Yeah. I completely agree about last season with the leadership and that, Steve. Would you be happy if there was a change in captaincy as well, or like what would you view?
Oh yeah, you've got to have a new captain. Yeah, there's no way you can have Deion Sanderson as captain next season. Not in my opinion. Oh, he comes out and makes an apology like that. You know, he was captain at the time and he was doing those things. He's got to stand down. There's no doubt about that in my mind. Give him another chance, yeah, but he's not a captain. So, in my opinion, dependent on who we sign, there's two that we could that could do it. You know, I think Chris Bielik and what's the matter with me today? The lad from Sunderland,
Alex Pritchard.
Alex Pritchard, yeah. Those are two possibles. A lot of people sort of dislike Pritchard a little bit last season, but I think
I like him. You didn't
I
give
do
him
as
a
well.
fair chance, did he, though, Steve? He was like injury prone and stuff, and that wasn't he? And he didn't really have.
He picked an injury or two up, and he wasn't, and unfortunately, he joined us when we was more or less like at a very low point, and we're going to go down. But I can imagine Pritchard in League One playing in the middle of the park. He's very vocal. He talks a lot in the dressing room.
Yeah.
He drives the ball forward. He likes to get up the park, and I think he could be one of the older heads that could lead a younger team. People like him. We still got the two fullbacks, Buchanan and Laird. Those two centre halves. The back four at the moment, if we had Bielik and Sanderson there, if Sanderson plays, it is a very good back four for that division. It really, really is.
Yeah.
Then you've got other signings possibly coming in. We've got Pritchard, we've got Hall. Don't forget George Hall, what a great player. We've got Chang coming back from a cruciate. What a great player he is.
Yeah.
So forget about bringing, when you said earlier about bringing players up through the ranks, we've got an awful lot of young players that are already there. And then all we need then is to pick some quality to put around them.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a blend of what we have, what we already have that hasn't really played properly yet.
Yeah.
And then some new players, perhaps some youth players on loan, and perhaps a couple of nice signings from, from any, the Korean market is good.
Yeah.
We're not sure what's happening with Marshy and Pike yet.
Yeah. What would you view, Steve? Would you want to keep them two or?
Oh, definitely. If you can keep Marshy and Pike, I mean, particularly Pike, he's a really, really nice player. Mayashi had a great season, but I think Pike was an absolute steal of a find, and he'd be great. But then I look at the team and I think, bloody hell, is this team just well too good for League One?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
I know, it's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, but if you're a footballer, and I think Tom Wagner can sell ice to Eskimos.
Yeah, definitely.
And the money's right, and they think they can be involved in something that's going to be massive, then I think we can sign players that we shouldn't really be able to sign.
Yeah.
And the other thing, of course, is we're going to have an awful lot of coverage next season. We're going to be all over the back pages. We're going to be on the internet everywhere, because Blues drive this. I made this point in the group last week. What Blues want is impressions. So when you see now, since the deal that we did with United, where I forget what the number is, after a certain amount of impressions, the money that United give us goes up and up and up in steps.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed, but there's so many releases now on the Bcfc site.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
They put it out there. The minute you click, you're getting some money for Blues. Now, people misunderstand this. If we put a post on about Birmingham City and someone clicks it, United don't give Blues any money. It has to be impressions on the Birmingham City official sites, like Twitter, like Bcfc Facebook page, like Instagram. They have to be on their social media. So the more social media imprints they get, the more money Blues earn. So they want.
So this part two, because the meeting had cut off. How you doing again, Steve?
Yeah, I'm all right.
All right, thanks, mate.
That was an unexpected surprise, wasn't it? Cut me off halfway through a sentence, I think.
Yeah.
But I think we're talking about the team for next season, and mixing the youth and the players that we already have. If you look at Buchanan and Ethan Laird, I think those two fullbacks are just so good.
Yeah.
They were so good in the Championship when they turned it on. Laird can be a little bit injury prone and that, but he's a great vocal person to have in the dressing room and on the pitch. He's not scared to make his feelings heard, Yeah. And I don't know if you've seen, did you see the John Ruddy podcast?
Yeah, I did. The podcast one.
Yeah, and that was really interesting to hear, because what John Ruddy basically was saying was there was no one in the dressing room that would step up and say, "Listen, get your shit together because we are in a bad position." They all sleepwalked into relegation, and they did. And I think what we need is that kind of character in there. I'm not saying John Ruddy specifically, but someone who is going to go in and not be scared to tell them when when they need to shake it up, and that has to be done by a player sometimes as well as the manager.
Yeah,
The Chris Davies is going to he's going to need someone on the pitch that can represent him on the pitch,
yeah,
and
definitely.
I think that's what we lacked
Yeah.
towards the end of last season.
I mean, it's like you said, like with the manager scenario, I mean, because I was looking at it from like a successful football scenario, but then again, when you was describing it, it's the same as having a job, isn't it? When you have different managers, it does have an impact on how you perform, and that doesn't it? And that wasn't the
So
best season, was it, for how many managers we had either, was it? So that didn't help, did it?
the thing is, and this is, so it's a real thing. The thought, and everyone goes, "Oh well, the money they paid, they should be able to do anything, really." Well, they can't. They're people like anyone else. Jay, you may for the start of the season, for instance, Sanderson, he had a really, really close bond, as most of the players did, with John Eustace. Then suddenly you got this, the Wayne Rooney figure coming in, who talks tactics really well. Like Beck was at the open house for us, the first open house, and she was speaking to Wayne Rooney. She said the way he was passionate about, the way he wanted the team to play and his understanding of tactics is absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
And but then John Ruddy said it when he was on the pitch. I think he got a pair of Nike Air Force on or something, and he got the ball at his feet, and he said, "Listen, like this, and he hits a 30-yard pass that fell right at the feet of a player." And John Ruddy said, "I thought, oh fucking hell, like, if you think there's any of us that can do that, you're fucking joking." You know what I mean?
yeah,
You,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, Wayne Rooney. It's that thing where you got a player who has all that ability and probably gets frustrated because the players can't do it, and
Yeah,
then the players feel inadequate because they can't do it, and then that breeds like an undercurrent of unease within the group. And then some of them will have got on with Wayne Rooney, and then he goes and Tony Mowbray comes in, so now they've got someone else. Now Tony Mowbray is going to prefer some players than others, and we've seen some players that figured under one manager and didn't figure under another.
yeah,
They were all over the place, and the players should have performed better last season, but you have to have a little bit of understanding of their position as well.
yeah, definitely. Well, it took me till the end of the season to kind of reflect on it, and yeah, you was bang on with that, mate. To be honest, because it is the same as having a normal job, is it? Well, it is their job, isn't it?
And I've got to say this, I honestly thought, I was talking to our moderators about it in the group. We have like our own little messenger group, and we discuss stuff, and I honestly said, if we beat Norwich, we stay up, because no, there's no way all of those results were going to go against us. But of course, we're Blues, and they did. For Leicester to lose at home to Blackburn, for Hull not to get anything out of Plymouth, all of those games all going wrong. We did all we could do on the last day, but we left it too late.
Yeah, 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 definitely. And it's like John Ruddy was saying on that podcast. If he was to play that last game of the season again and Blues were to win, those results probably wouldn't have been the same.
Play those games 10 times, that's never going to happen again.
It's mad,
But
isn't it?
it's the way it is. And I thought John Ruddy spoke really well, and I liked his frankness. It sort of makes me feel that he probably won't be here next season, but I don't know, he was honest, and that's what you want from the players, a little bit of honesty. And it sort of gave you a glimpse into the changing room, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, yeah.
When he said he was going in after games and he was bollocking players, and the image I get in my head is perhaps, Sanderson sitting there not saying an awful lot. He's not that vocal on the pitch, and he's not someone who's going to grab someone by the scruff of the neck and tell him to fucking pull the socks up, is he? He's not that sort of person.
Yeah.
He's not a great choice of a captain for me.
Do you think we'll see any more players depart though, Steve, in your opinion? Do you think there'll be more players going?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much you can read into the publicity the Blues put out in terms of you know the videos and that they put through Bcfc.
Yeah.
Like there was one last week of Bakker hitting a ball from like 35 yards into the top corner. And when I seen that, I thought he's staying. You know, there's no way they're going to be putting that on there if he's not staying. But then you don't see anything of like obviously like players like Scott Hogan who you know he won't be staying, and some of the other, you know, Chris Burke, people like that. I know Burke was on loan, but we had an option. Emmanuel Avu, you know, he'll be gone. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head who else was there that probably isn't going to figure. Some of the, you know, Roberts has gone. Not John Roberts I'm talking about, you know, obviously. So there's going to be definitely a fair few players leaving, and some haven't had. But anyone that's under contract, you can't make them leave.
Yeah.
For us to get rid of someone, we'd have to pay the contract up, which we won't want to do. Or someone wants to buy them. You know, that's the thing. You've got to want people that want to buy the player. A lot of people say on our site, you know, like, oh, you know, get rid of him, get rid of him. You can't just get rid of them. They've got contracts.
Yeah. There was a lot of mixed reviews as well with Tyler Roberts, and me and you, we had really strong opinions on that. We liked him, didn't we?
Tyler Roberts, he's a lovely
You saw him
player.
in the flesh, haven't you, as well? Like you said, in Spain and stuff. But do you think he'll come?
Yeah,
League One as well.
He'll tear that division apart because he's such a classy player. He's got, you know, he's got the touch. He's got a lot of close control for a big man. He's got a great left foot, and I think I really want Tyler Roberts to make this season his. You know, he can feature as one of the main strikers, and I think I think he's got this. You know, I just hope he has. He's under contract, so you know.
Yeah, I reckon he. I reckon he will as well.
I don't know about. I think Dembele will be gone personally. Although he's another one that, if he wanted to, if he could concentrate on his game and put some more work into it and track back a little bit more, he would pull that league to pieces as well, because we've seen him destroy championship defenses.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
it's exciting times, mate, and looking at the season now ahead, like, are you really excited about it now, Steve?
Yeah, I was saying in the group when we first got relegated that I think this is going to be a nice learning curve for the supporters as well, because I remember us in Division 3. I went to all the away games in Division 3, and it's an absolute eye-opener. You know, some of the best times as a Blues fan were when we had Barry Fry managing us and we were in Division 3 and we travelled to all these little grounds. You know, we overtook small towns. You know, there were more Blues fans there than there were population. It was an amazing time.
Yeah.
And what's happened is when we've got supporters who've only supported the club, say from the start of the century, you know, like 2000, they've never seen that. And so they sort of have this view of, yeah, it's not superiority, but they need to have a taste of that. What they're going to get a taste.
Yeah.
Understand what it's like to be a Blues supporter. You know, mate, a lot of people that are listening to this now will remember Wigan on a Wednesday night, pissing down with rain, and us on the mud bank behind the goal like a cowshed with a little cover on the top, doing the conga around the cowshed. You know, those are days that stick in your memories. Those are proper, when you think back, and then you can look at when we win the League Cup, and then you can absolutely know what a fantastic thing it is to do.
Yeah.
We don't, you know, we have no ownership of being able to be in the Premier League or the Championship. You have to earn your position. And a lot of the fans, I think now, the younger fans are a bit privileged. They don't need, you know, they don't understand, but they will soon.
Yeah. Do you got one more question for you, Steve? Do you think the Blues will get promoted straight off this season? Just going off from what you think.
Scared to say, really, but I
just go.
I was having this conversation with someone else, and honestly, I'd be disappointed if we lose more than 4 games.
Really?
That's what you're looking at if you're going to win that division. I
Yeah.
don't. I think Ipswich like only lost 3 or 4 games that season. We have to try and be the invincibles of that division. We're the big boys. We're the ones that everyone wants to beat. People talk about Wrexham. Wrexham ain't nowhere near as good as us. There are teams in there, and we're fortunate because a lot of the better teams in there got promoted, like Portsmouth. I can't remember who else went up.
Derby,
Anyway,
wouldn't
Derby, yeah. The only one that's left in there, I think, that would cause us any sort of issues is Bolton. And
yeah.
they've struggled over the season, so I don't think they're going to be a problem. But that's me talking. I'm a Blues fan. It's what I think. We've got an exciting setup. And the thing, it doesn't matter how big a stadium you buy. It doesn't matter how nice you make it. It doesn't matter about the new kits or the fan zones, which, by the way, are absolutely brilliant. None of that matters if they can't get it right on the pitch.
Yeah.
We can be the absolute fucking, dog's bollocks of the Northern Premier League. We
Yeah.
don't want to be that. We want to be a Premiership team. And now we've got the opportunity to start from scratch, rebuild, develop players, take the players with us through the divisions, the way Ipswich have. And I'm saying Ipswich because I think it's a great example for us to try and follow, and then take it from there. And then particularly everyone now that's going to watch the team next season will have been on the whole journey.
Yeah, see, mate.
I'm hoping I'll live long enough to see the end of it,
Oh, don't you start that as well. My dad was saying the same as well. Of course you will. Oh, you will.
Depends how long it takes them, mate.
Yeah, I was 2 years old, so I'm looking forward to it because I've never seen it before. I was here, but I was obviously too young to remember. But I'm really looking forward to it, to be honest.
I think there's going to be ticketing issues, particularly with away games,
Yeah,
because what a lot of teams
capacity.
did when we were last time in the third division or second League One as it is now, was a lot of the smaller teams would look at our demand for tickets and give us a much bigger allocation. So if that happens, then happy days. But you're going to get teams that are up there that won't want to give the allocation away, because obviously the more tickets they sell, the more money they make. And that's a big thing to the smaller clubs. It's not that important to us, but it is to smaller clubs.
Yeah.
So we may get bigger allocations, but you might be looking at away games when only platinum away supporters get a ticket. So you can, like gold, silver, and bronze may not even get a sniff.
Yeah, it's exciting, mate. Honestly, I'm really excited. I am, Steve. I just want to
It's
get
only a
going
month
now.
away, just
I know.
over a month away, and we start playing our pre-season games. The Rangers one will be an interesting one. We've got some great pre-season games when you look at them.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
The Austria trip will be a nice little sort of introduction for the players and the manager to get to know each other. And I know a lot of supporters that are going to Austria for that, so that'll be exciting. And then we've got Rangers at St Andrews, we've got West Brom at St Andrews, and we've got we've got a game away at Warsaw.
Yeah, yeah.
So it'll be interesting. But the Rangers game will be an absolute sellout.
Yeah,
They're brave to put it on in a way. Rangers have been to Brum before and have caused problems, but we have a bit of an affinity with Rangers supporters. So when they went to Villa, it was a different thing. But I think when they come to Blues, there's a little bit of a link between Blues and Rangers, and I'm hoping it's going to be a day that's trouble-free. Everyone can enjoy it, and
yeah,
we can see what we're made of because we're playing a very, very good Scottish Premier League team.
yeah, yeah. It's yeah. Like you say, there's a lot to look forward to. Yeah, it's just brilliant, isn't it, mate? And hopefully we can have a good season as well as the friendlies and stuff as well. But Steve, I really enjoyed talking to you, mate, today.
Just one more thing to add. I think as well that the fan zone is going to be showing some of the Euro games. So
Okay.
I think if England reach the last 8, I think the idea is to give the fan zone a bit of a trial run. So look out for that. there may be tickets available to go and see England play on the big screens around the Cop car park, and watch the game, have a drink, and hopefully the summer over there picks up. I don't know what the weather's like today. Is it all right? Is it nice?
Overcast. Overcast, mate.
Well,
Be good
you
here.
can see what it's like through my window, sort of. Well, I've got the blinds down, so it keeps the house cool, but it's mad hot here. So don't be jealous, honestly, because it's so fucking horrible when it gets like that.
I'm jealous, mate.
No, but yeah, great season to come, and don't forget anyone that's interested in helping us with the kits for kids, or with helping us by donating some money. We've had some great support from the local pubs. The Big Bull's Head and the Digbeth pubs have all put money into that kit. The Rooster's been brilliant, helping us with the kits for kids. So there's a lot of support from the city, from some of the well-known people in the city, as well as just everyday supporters. Even like a fiver into our GoFundMe or into our account makes a big difference to us.
Brilliant, Steve. Brilliant, mate. It's superb, mate. But yeah,
Good.
if you do me a favour, Steve, after this podcast, if you send me the links, I'll attach them under the video so people can find them. They can click on the links to go to these sites. I'm guessing that pretty much everybody on here is a member of the project, I would have thought.
I think, to be honest, because what happens is with the kits, the easier thing to do, because if you want to make a donation at the moment, you have to do it through the bank account, because we do a GoFundMe for each game.
Okay.
So we don't know what the fixtures are going to be like, which we'll know in a week's time.
Okay.
But if you go onto the Bcfc the project site and go into the pinned posts, it's all up there.
Okay.
It's the easiest way to do it, I think, to be honest. And obviously, anyone that's watching the video, you're more than welcome to come and join us at the project. And we don't have any shit there, as you know, Jay. We don't have people abusing players or abusing each other, or we don't have that crap. And that's what makes us successful, I think, because we want it to be a nice group where people can interact. Obviously, it's going to get a little bit heated at times. We all do that. But just have a little bit of respect for each other, that's all.
That's it, mate. That's it. But Steve, I've really enjoyed talking to you again, mate, and thanks for making time for me again.
No problem, Jay. And
get yourself in the sun, mate.
No, I've got to take the dog out. If I take him out now, right, he lasts about 15 minutes.
Really?
I have to more or less nearly carry him back, because it's just so hot, for dogs. And we have to be careful of the ground temperature, because it's like the pavements get really hot. They can't walk on them.
Yeah.
So what a job, eh?
Yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, Steve, and I'll put it all together, mate, and I'll put it on if you want me to put it on the.
Pop it on. When will it go on today?
Probably in the next hour or two.
All right, Jay. I look forward to seeing it, and nice talking to you, mate. And regards to your dad.
I will, mate. I want to try and get. I'll try and get him to do one soon. He done a video with me the other day. I ain't sure if you saw it in his Blues pub. So
no,
the bug for it now. So I'll see if you can do a podcast with us.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt him
to talk on there. So
yeah. All right, mate.
All right, Steve.
Cheers, Jay. I'll see you soon, son.
Keep right on, mate. Up the Blues.
And you. See you later, Jay.
Bye, Steve.
Bye, mate.
All right, mate.